The top Austrian pro hockey league was founded in 1965. It totally crashed in the year 2000, where it had to re-establish from scratch. In 2003, we saw the big name sponsor Erste Bank coming to the league, also giving it its former name, the EBEL League. From 2005, the league became international, where we saw a big growth year by year from then. The league doesn't have a traditional import rule, but it has a point system, where it gives each player points according to their age and experience. On average, each team has about 7 to 10 imports. The league attracts high-quality imports, as the league is highly respected across Europe and can be compared to the DEL. The league has also done a great job marketing-wise in the last decades, as it saw extensive TV coverage. All the hockey players on the rosters are hockey professionals. Today's interview will be with Sébastien Sylvestre from Canada. Sébastien played in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and then turned pro in North America. After a few seasons in the ECHL and American Hockey League, he then went over to Europe to play in the ICEHL, in the EBEL League and in DEL 2. It'll be interesting to talk about the EBEL and the first Austrian league with him today. Hi Sébastien, thanks for being here with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so the first question will be, can you explain your hockey career for us, please?
Yeah. Well, so I'm from Quebec. So growing up, I've been playing hockey since I'm probably 4 years old. And then when I started playing junior, I was in Chicoutimi, so I got drafted in Chicoutimi, which was like maybe 6 hours away from my hometown. So moved there for the first time, being away from my family. It was a great experience, great organization. The QMJHL is a really, really beautiful platform if you want to turn pro right away. The only thing that we have to say about the junior major, and something that just came out this year, is they didn't pay the players as much as they should, because I will explain that, because they see the players with allocation. If they go through the junior major, they get everything paid, school paid, and then they have the chance to go pro. But what if you don't want to go pro after? What if you want to go to school? The only thing that the junior major didn't offer us is, if you go through the junior major, you cannot go to school in the US. And they rectify this year by giving us a little bit of money throughout the season that we played. But except of that, like the league was amazing. They take good care of us. We've traveled all around Quebec, and it was a great experience for me.
Yeah, and what about your stations as a pro hockey player?
Well, when I turned pro, first of all, I went to the US. So I played 3 years in the US, moved around a little bit. I played in the coast. I went to 2 development camp, one with the Marlies and one with the New York Islanders. So those two experiences was also amazing to me. And after my parkour in the US, I wanted to go travel and to keep playing hockey. So I went to Belfast in North Ireland for my first pro year in Europe. And also Belfast was a great experience, amazing, beautiful people, always things to do over there. Great fans. The hockey is good because they offer a scholarship, so you can go to university while you're playing hockey there. So that was a great experience, and that gave me the opportunity to go to Croatia after, and I played for Zagreb in the EBEL. Zagreb is a beautiful city. I've had the chance to meet a lot of good people, and my coach who was there was an ex-player also, who had a really, really good season in the EBEL. So he taught me a lot of stuff. But I don't know if you guys know what happened in Zagreb the season before, when they went bankrupt and they had to finish the season with all their younger players. So I had to move, and I went to Germany. I went to Kassel in the second league of Germany, and I have to say that all my experience was amazing. Also in Kassel was a really good organization in the DEL 2. and they also want to move up in the first league when the relegation will be on in the next few years, I guess. So, and all of these experiences brought me to Bolzano last season, and I was so happy to come to Bolzano because when I was in Zagreb, we came for a full weekend here in Bolzano, and I saw the mountains, I saw the fans, how passionate they were. And yeah, so when I signed here in Bolzano, I was just excited to come, just excited to see how it was living in Italy, and everything has been amazing since then.
Okay, and why did you turn pro in Europe? How come you didn't stay in North America?
Because my goal when I was a kid was obviously to play in the NHL, but when you turn pro and you go through the ECHL, all the things that is going on in the pro hockey, which you might have a chance, you might not. Even you're good or not, it doesn't matter. You have to be consistent, work every day, and if you get called, you get called. If you don't, you still have to work. So it was a really good experience, and I pushed myself. I learned so much about myself throughout this parkour. But at 23, 24 years old, I wanted to have a little bit of more stability. I wanted to travel. Also, I wanted to see the world without leaving hockey behind. So it was a really good opportunity for me to come and see the world and learning more about myself, keep traveling and keep playing hockey. So coming overseas was the best idea that my agent told me. It was more about with my personality, is more about how I see myself, and this is why I made the decision to go overseas.
So having made the transition from North America to Europe, how can you compare the hockey level and the lifestyle?
Lifestyle is different because obviously we play less game than the ECHL. So I would say the ECHL, the season started in October and finish in probably March, April, I would say. But you play so many games in those things. You play probably like 75 to 82 games, which when you come to Europe, you play probably like 40 to maybe 52 if you go. Like in Belfast, we had this Continental Cup, which is a tournament between the season, which had you 10 more games. Same thing with the CHL, which Bolzano will be on next season. You had another 10 to 12 games to the full season, but it's still way less game than you play in North America. So you have more time to recover, you have more time to travel, you have more time to spend either with your family if you do have one. And so that's more like I wanted to live. That's more my lifestyle. A little bit less game, but that doesn't mean it's not as stressful because you still have to win every single game. You still have to show up and practice every day. So hockey, the lifestyle of a hockey player doesn't change much. We practice in the morning and we have some time off in the afternoon. You have to take care of your body. You still have to train and eat well, but the time is just different. So you probably have more time to yourself when you're in Europe, to do a little bit of traveling or to do more time to spend with your family. So that will be the difference. But hockey-wise, it's actually pretty similar. The only thing is the size of the rink. So probably in Europe, it's a little bit more skating, a little bit more passing, so a little bit less physical. But don't get me wrong, the boys are as talented as they are in the US. Maybe it's just the ice rink, which is a little bit smaller, which in America would be a little bit more physical. But nowadays, more imports are coming in Europe, so the games are pretty similar. Games is fast, strong, powerful guys, and yes, both is really good hockey.
And did you have an agent and manage your transfers? And did you always have the same agent?
I had 3 agents. This is my 3rd one that I'm working with at the moment. I don't think I'm gonna need to change again. So I've built a really good relationship with him, and he knows a little bit more about myself, so he knows what I want, he knows what I don't want. Um, so I've been fortunate to live in Belfast, Zagreb, and Bolzano, which are beautiful cities. Um, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm not looking for the probably like the most money. I'm just probably gonna look for the place where I'm gonna be the more comfortable. So you want to find a gap which you're gonna be in a good organization that will take care of you, but that you will be in a place that you will thrive as a person, that you will be happy, that you will wake up in the morning, that you will have things to do. I don't see myself going in a place where it's gonna be dark all the time, or there's nothing to do around. Because what fulfills me as a human is not just about hockey, it's about how I handle things with people, how I met people, and what I do throughout my day. So that's why Bolzano is probably like one of the best places to play in Europe, hands down. So yeah, that's how I've managed to change teams all the time, because I always had a better opportunity somewhere else, and working with my agent closely, that he knows a little bit about the organization, and then I will do my research on my own and see if I will actually like the place. Hockey is a small world. We all played against each other at one point, or somebody that I know that played with somebody else. So words are going around really quickly. So if you want to ask question about a place or a team, you can definitely try to find someone to talk with, and he'll show you around probably.
So you played in the EIHL, the Del2, and the first Austrian league, the EBEL. How can you compare those leagues?
I would say you compare the leagues by the import that you have. So I would say that in the EIHL you can have more import. So it's more Americanized hockey, I would say. A little bit more physical. But then you go to Croatia, which you have like those Slovenian guy, those Croatian guy, which is a different type of hockey. It's more skills, it's more skating ability. So the EBEL has a lot of good hockey players that plays in the NHL before, players that plays in America before, and even those good Sweden and Finland that will come to the league, also those Norwegian guy. So it's a beautiful mix, I would say. Germany and the EBEL. EBEL is, I would say, is better than the second league in Germany, because in Germany you can only have like, I think it's 4 or 5 imports in the second league. So but the Germans are still really good hockey players. So there's not a big difference, but I would say that EBEL is the highest league that I've been on so far, which compared to the EIHL and the Del2.
And how about the first Austrian league itself, which was formerly the EBEL? How is it organized? Is it very professional, and the hockey level, is it good? You have a lot of traveling to do and so on.
It's a really good league, and I guess it's getting better and better. I only played 2 years, and in Zagreb was only a half a year, so I couldn't explain much more how it's been managed, because Zagreb didn't have a really big budget, I would say, but we did travel. We did travel by bus. We stayed at hotel. Everything has been paid for. Everything has been cared. Bolzano treated us like A+. They've been really good to us. Good food on the road. So it's really well managed league. But I would be surprised how things are in Klagenfurt or Vienna. You know, so. I guess I don't know enough to explain more than I did, but what I can say is it's professional. It's a really good hockey league, and you've been treated well, and I'm sure that all the teams are taking care of their guys pretty well.
And now, looking back at your experience, Do you have any advice for a North American player looking to turn pro in Europe?
Obviously, do it. If you think about it, you should do it. I have my best buddies who plays in the NHL right now, and he's still thinking about going to Europe because it's not the same stress level. You want to play in the NHL, you have a certain type of things that you have to do with dress, eat, sleep, train. It's a higher pace. When you move to Europe, I wouldn't say that it's not as high as it is in the NHL, but it's just different. The approach is a little bit different. So if you are a person who wants to travel, who wants to play a little bit less game but with a higher pace, I really recommend to go to Europe because it's been an amazing experience for me, and I'm sure it will be for a lot of other players that don't see themselves going more higher than they are in the US. So going to Europe, you can do the exact same thing. You can move throughout leagues. You can have a higher salary. You can have better place to live. So I really recommend going overseas for the American guys who don't see themselves like play anymore.
Yeah, so that was actually it. Thank you again for being here with us today.
Yes, no problem, Martin. Thank you for having me.